And then the next one is the Asset Outperformer Engine. So the Asset Outperformer Engine, to me, is probably one of the most important, I would say, applications on the entire platform, because it's looking at over 7,000 assets across all asset classes, and it's trying to compare their performance against these benchmarks. So these benchmarks are what I have determined through years of research and analysis as being very good, a good barometer on whether or not an asset is sustainably and durably outperforming them. Right? And if an asset is outperforming them, then it's typically worth a look, especially if you look at it on the 1 day, 7 day, 30 day, and then 9 days also just used to be able to just help you gauge the performance of these assets. But it includes Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, gold, and S&P 500. These are some of the five highest performing assets over the course of the last 10 years. So what you do is it's showing you that Trader 2X as a fund, UBS, Verbio, Nokia, Nosana, Cisco, right? Advisors. So these are some just examples of different assets that are actually outperforming the entire benchmark across 3 asset classes. So 5 assets, 3 time periods, 5 times 3, 15, of course. So that's where it's telling you that Trader is, and it's telling you what it is. So usually it's around, this fund maintains 80% exposure to financial instruments that provide 2 times leveraged exposure to the daily performance of AAOI, right? And it's a fund. It's here. It's denominated in US dollars, and it's telling you it's at $61, but it's outperforming all 15. So, and it's a phase B. So we're using our own machine learning algorithms to go and to assign a conviction score. So usually higher the better, of course. And then we're using different phases. So usually, and if you just hover over here, it explains it to you. So it says phase A is early recovery. Phase B is a confirmed uptrend. Phase C you might be entering a little late, where it's sustainably outperforming, but you might be buying into the top. So you have to be very careful. I like to go in at the tail end of phase A and going into phase B. And then if you want to understand it more, you just click the tour. So this gives you like a click-through tour. And then the other thing too is you can just click how it works and go to the methodology tab, and it walks you through every single thing. And the same applies to all the modules across the entire platform. So you have the click-through tutorial, and then you have the how it works overview. And if you just want to focus on stocks, you just click stocks. It filters to that particular asset class, and then you can focus on only phase B if that's what you want. And then you can focus on specific countries, let's say the United States or United Kingdom or France or Canada, etc. And then you can see exactly how these companies, publicly traded assets, are performing against the benchmark, right? So you can see that ON, which is massive, a semiconductor company in the US, right? That's powering solutions in Hong Kong, Singapore, UK, US, etc., how it's performing across its entire 22,000 employee base. So this is extremely powerful, because this tells you that it gives you a performance of how it's performing also. And then also, if you want to buy this on chain, for example, you can buy this on chain because there is a tokenized mirrored asset of it. And it doesn't have millions in terms of liquidity, but it has a few 100,000. So it could be something worth looking at. So that's just an example. And then another thing is you can click any particular company. So if you click the company itself, it'll take you directly to a dedicated company profile page where it gives you a description of it. But more importantly, it also gives you the company financials, and it gives you the insider view that we were going through. And it tells you exactly who's been buying and selling. It gives you the political alpha view. So it tells you exactly who's been buying and selling from a politician standpoint. So for example, Rohit Khanna has been buying. He's from the Democratic Party. And the last time he bought was on April 13th, right? And he's been actually outperforming the benchmark by 33%, which is significant. So, and then you can look at filings. You can look at our valuation score from our company valuation engine. So that's where it gets very interesting, is when you have the crossover between all of the different tools. So we'll go through the next ones later.